right, hello again. This is going to be example 6 of how to solve the quadratic equation using a square root method. And there's just a quick review. When we talk about quadratic equations, we're talking about equations that has the highest power, highest exponent is to the second power. And in order for us to solve it using the square root method, that means it should not include no x's to the first power. so, so we talked about the steps last time in the previous 2 videos, and I'm just like to always go over them. So that means that when I'm looking at this and I'm trying to find the solution of the function, so here, I'm gonna say, okay, I need all the variables on one side. There should be equivalent to the constants on the other side. So when I write this again, so that means I need to take the x squared to the other side. I don't care which one you take first. They're going to both end up giving you the same answer. So I'm going to do negative 3x squared plus x squared, that is negative 2x squared. This is going to be dropped down, equal negative x squared plus x squared is crossed out, and that will be equal to negative 12. Now looking at this, I still don't have all the constants on the other side. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add 6 on both sides, and I will have negative 2x squared equal negative 6, because negative 12 plus 6 is negative 6. Now, again, I have to get rid of what is paired with x squared, which is the negative 2x. And the negative 2, remember, this is multiplied. All right, so this is negative 2. So to get rid of the negative 2, I will have to divide negative 2 on both sides. Negative and negative positive, 2 and 2, 1. So I got x squared equal negative and negative will be positive. 6 over 2 is 3. To get rid of the square, so I'd like to write it down. To get rid, I know I've done that, I've written that in every single question I've done before, but I like to keep repeating it. To get rid of the square or the exponent, 2, I have to square root both sides. So I'd like to write this again. And I'm going to say, all right, let me go ahead and square root both sides. This and that will be crossed out. So I will have x equal, this is not a perfect square, and it's a small number. I cannot do GCF for it, the tree method for it. So I would automatically know that this will have, this x will be either positive 3 or x will be negative square root of 3. Or I can say, or I can write it in the form of x equal plus or minus square root of 3. So I can either write it in this form or just separate them. They're both going to give you the same answer. If you're asked to find the solution or the zeros or the x-intercept of the function, then you will write it down in a coordinate form. They all mean the same thing. Yep. And this will be the answer for that question. So now I'm going to go ahead and try another example. And it's going to be example number 7. And this will be example number 7. And that is negative 2 into negative x squared plus 1 minus 2 into 2x squared minus 1 equal negative 1. So, how do I do that one? So, the first thing I want you to always keep in mind is that this is considered one term and this is considered one term. So, yes, I have to take things to the other side, constants to one side and variables to the other side. But before I do that, I would like to distribute that 2 into inside this parentheses. Should I also take it to that parentheses? Hopefully you answered no. And why is that? Hopefully you answered because I have a mathematical operation in between them, which is minus. So that's kind of separating these two terms because this is considered a term and this is another term. So I'm going to go ahead and distribute the negative 2. So negative 2 times negative x squared is 2x squared. Negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. I'm going to do the same for the other side. And we have negative 2 times 2x squared is minus 4x squared. Negative 2 times negative 1 is plus 1 equal to negative 1. Alright, so what do I do next? I have to make sure that I have the variables on one side equal to the constants on the other side. But when I look at this, I notice that I have to first combine like terms before moving them to the other side. So if I look what's before the equal sign, I have 2x squared and negative 2x squared. These are same terms. 2x squared minus 4x squared is minus 2x squared. And then I have negative 2 plus 1. That would be minus 1 equals minus 1. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and take that to the other side, the constant to the other side. And it will be, oh, you know what? I messed up here. That should be 2. Alright, so negative 2 and 2, that will be 0 then. Alright. So, yep, so I don't need then to add 1 on both sides. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say negative 2x squared equal negative 1. In order for me to get rid of that 2, I will need to divide my negative 2 on both sides. And negative will turn into positive. 2 divided by 2 is 1. So that's x squared equal half. Same concept. In order for me to get rid of that second power, I have to square root both sides. And then I will get x equal plus or minus square root of 1 over 2. Square root of 1 over 2 is the same as 1 over square root of 2. I'm not going to go into how to rationalize this. This is a whole U unit. But we can also see it this way, or we can say x equal square root of 1 over 2. X is equal of negative square root of 1 over 2. They're both correct. All right, and that's really pretty much it. That's what I got for you. Now I would like to just do one example of a question that's, I think we've done this before. Yeah. Yeah, let me do one more example. It's kind of we've done it before, not the exact same example, but we've done the same concept before, and this is going to be the last example for this specific video. So that's example 8. I got negative 2 into x squared minus 7 all square plus 3 equals negative 47. So again, remember that all this is one term. Alright, so it's easy for me in this case to just take the constants to the other side and leave the variables on this side. Minus. So I'm going to do negative 2 x squared minus 7 all squared plus 3 minus 3 is 0. That's equal to negative 47 minus 3. That means I'm going to add them and have the negative sign. So let me write it without that line. Now, I need to get rid of that, what is paired. Here, let me write it down. Get rid of the constant paired to x squared minus 7 all squared. So to get rid of this, remember what is the mathematical operation in between them? It's multiplication. So I will need to do the opposite of multiplication, which is divide negative 2 on both sides. Positive and positive crossed out. 2 and 2 crossed out. So I would have x squared minus 7 all squared equal 25. Alright, now what do you think I need to do next? I hope you answered that we need to square root both sides to get rid of the big exponent. Alright, so let me write it down again. Equal 25. So we're going to square root that whole term. Okay, and now what do I have? I'm going to cross this with that. So we will have x squared minus 7 equal, remember, square root of 25 is square root of 5 squared, and that will give me two values, plus or minus 5. So let's do 5, and let's do x squared minus 7 equal negative 5. Alright, now we're going to solve each one of them. Let's do the green one. Add 7 on both sides. So we'll have x squared equal 12. And again, we need to square root both sides. This and this crossed out. So we got x equal. So what do we have for 12? Remember, we did this in previous lessons. 2, 6, 2, 3, and 3, 1. So square root of 12 is equivalent. We have to group them in groups of 2 because we're talking about square roots. This square root of 2 to the second power, this one is going to go outside the radical as 2 because the 2 and the radical are going to cross out. So I will get 2 square root of 3. So this would be, the first value is going to be 2 square root of 3, or it's going to be negative 2 square root of 3. Or we can write it in the form of x equal plus or minus 2 square root of 3. Now, let's check the other solution. Remember that in future lessons you will see that some of them are not going to be true and we're going to see extraneous solutions, but not in this lesson. But I'm just, letting you know. All right, now we're going to do add 7 on both sides to put all the constants on one side and the variables on the other side. You will get x squared equal 2 and then for me to get rid of that square, I'm going to square root both sides. I'm sorry, to get rid of the exponent, which is the square. Remember, this does not go outside the radical. I cannot simplify it. So that means x is going to be equal to plus or minus square root of 2, or I can say x is equal to either square root of 2 or x could be equal to negative square root of 2. So, yep, now we have 1, 2, 3, and 4 solutions for this particular question. All right, I know there's a lot of steps. That's why this is kind of introduced in Algebra 2, not before that, because you guys should be, mentally ready to kind of mix up different kind of contents and concepts that you've learned before and combine them all in one question. Now, trust me, you're going to get better at this when you practice more. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, or clarification about something, please reach out to me. And you guys have a wonderful day.